What's up, everybody? This is yours truly, Robert Ferguson, aka Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson, and I am your nutritionist. I'm a guy who shares because I care, and today is no different. Now, we're playing with some different software today, so if the camera's off a little bit, please excuse me with that. If anything is off, don't hold it against me, because what I'm going to share with you today is going to prove very beneficial, not just for right now, but for the rest of your life. So we're going to get into this, and I'm going to show you how you can literally and figuratively eat a Philly cheesesteak and lose weight. Yes, you heard me correctly. Philly cheesesteak, meatloaf, and whatever foods that you want to eat. I'm going to show you how we're able to help people be successful at losing weight, keeping the weight off, but eating the foods that they really like. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Dun, 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 step by step. Okay. All right, now before I get into it, if you are here live, catch me live, then let me know. Say hello in the comment area or wherever you're catching me. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. If you're on our YouTube channel, just say, hey, what's up, Robert? If you know me from back in the day as Lawrence, hey, what's up, Lawrence? Just say hi. If you know me as the Ferg, hey, what's up, Ferg? Just say hi. If you know me as Rob, say what's up. If you know me as Robbie, actually, there's only two people in my entire life that have called me Robbie. The first one was Toni Braxton, the singer, who was my client, and she always called me Robbie. If I call her right now, what's up, Robbie? Okay. That's how she sees me. That's how she knows me. Robbie. So if you see Toni somewhere and you say, hey, you know Robert Ferguson? She'll go, you go, Robbie Ferguson? Oh. And then you're in. Now, the other person who called me Robbie, I don't know exactly who that is. I just remember them calling me it, and I didn't like it when they called me that. Now, when Toni called me Robbie, I didn't complain. I just went with it. Okay. And it was cute. So I embraced it for what it was, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Today is going to be interesting, you guys. What's up, Jenny? I'm glad you caught me live. Ethel, I actually shot a video today that I'm sending to all of my clients. That is exactly what I'm going to cover right now. What I'm going to cover right now is the basics of fat burning meals. So every coach can teach you how to do this. So when you get with a coach or you got with me, our biggest responsibility, our biggest job is to teach you the diet-free life methodology. That's it. And once you know it, then our job is to just reinforce it, remind you, help you be mindful, help you stay the course. And as a result of staying the course, eventually you will get there. You will get there. And I could share with you not 10, not 100, but thousands of people who have stayed the course. Now, the ones who don't stay the course, and some of them will tune in and catch me live, they know who they are, and I don't want them to feel bad. And they also know they can reach out to me at any time. Because if they don't, I can tell you this, the likelihood of them being successful without a coach, it's kind of a toss-up. Because when you have a coach, you have that built-in accountability. You have someone who is there to be an extra set of ears, an extra set of eyes, someone to remind you, someone to check in with. And that is a game changer. I mean, for years, I've said this. The challenge was that a lot of people couldn't afford a coach. If every person could have a coach, and they had, of course, the right plan, then everybody would be successful. It's the people who give up on themselves that aren't successful. It's like they don't prioritize themselves as a priority. They will work and do things for everybody else except themselves. And then they're the ones in the bed. They're the ones going to get the operation. They're the ones who are sick. And everybody's wishing things had worked out differently. You don't want to be that person. I see these people all the time. They just keep putting off taking care of themselves. They keep putting off losing weight. They keep putting off dealing with their diabetes. They put off dealing with their fatty liver. Now, many of them don't know what I'm about to share with you, because I believe if they knew, I believe they would have a renewed hope. But then it makes me wonder, there's clients that I work with who gave up on themselves. They just quit. And I don't know what they're thinking, but their situation ain't going to get better. It always, and I'm using always, let's say 98% of the time. 98% of the time, it gets worse. And when I show you how simple it is to make fat-burning meals, you're going to think about it differently. You're going to be like, okay, wait a minute. I think I need to get a coach. And reach out to me. Now, I have provided some links. If you want to learn more about the balance oil that I endorse and I've been talking about, and it's we're helping a lot of people. Don't put that off. Even if you don't want to change the way you eat, get the balance oil. I'm not going to go into great detail right now, but I'm telling you what I am seeing is the most profound, most amazing. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. A product that is making a difference, whether someone eats differently or not, is making a difference. And we know it because we're able to do a test. Also, subscribe to our newsletter and subscribe to whatever we're doing. Reach out, schedule a free consultation. All right, let's get into it. Let me set this up because I'm not going to keep you for too long. I'm going to keep you for a little bit. Okay, let's see here. How does that look? And I got to find out. Okay, I don't see what I'm looking for. Okay, we're going to try something a little different. Okay, you can see, let me put myself right there. Okay, so I'm in the bottom left, and I may disappear and jump up to the top right. Okay, so I'll be in the bottom left or I'll be at the top right, but you can hear me. Are you ready to dive into this? Are you ready to see something really cool? Okay, make sure you hit the like button, comment if you can. Okay, here goes the presentation that I am making available to all of my clients. And this can also serve as an introduction to how the Diet-Free Life methodology works. And I will cover all of this in less than 20 minutes. Are you ready? I'm looking at the clock. Okay, we're good. We started a little late because I'm playing around in my little intro stuff, but we're going to dive into this. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Now, for those of you who are new to me, I have been a nutritionist and been in this space of helping people not only lose weight, but improve metabolic health. That includes everything from blood pressure, triglycerides, cholesterol, you name it. If you're eating, then I have a plan for you. So been doing it for a really long time. With that, I've won a lot of awards. I work with a lot of big, giant, multi-billion-dollar companies, and everyone I work with, whether it's a celebrity or whether it's a company, or doesn't matter, our whole goal is that we're helping someone improve their health. And we're doing it through what I'm going to share with you today, the Diet-Free Life methodology. Okay. Now, as you can see, there's three main things that I want to focus on as part of the goal of this presentation. Number one, I want to introduce you to a way of eating, a methodology, which is a way that is proven to help you lose weight and improve overall health. And do all of that without feeling like you're ever on a diet. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to share with you real life stories of people who have lost over 100 pounds, reversed type 2 diabetes, and have eliminated medications for things like blood pressure, cholesterol, and depression, just to name a few. And third, and I'm sure we'll probably touch on something else, I'm going to show you how simple and easy it is to learn how to eat. So there's a learning curve, okay? And in that learning curve is the hardest part of it, which is actually easy, because you're going to learn how to make fat-burning meals with regular everyday food, to include everything from the Philly cheesesteak to meatloaf and mashed potatoes. And many of you are like, what? Huh? What? I'm going to show you. Remember, we're evidence-based and we're clinically proven. So thousands of people have done what I'm about to show you. You can't argue this. This is proven. It's just a matter of if somebody wants to lose weight and eat regular food and learn how to eat food, then we're where you go. There's no one else that does what we do. No one anywhere on the planet. That's why if you want to become a coach, reach out to us, because you'll teach the same methodology that's evidence-based and clinically proven. And that's why instantly as a coach, once you learn how to coach, you just start coaching. That simple. Okay. Now let's start out with some testimonials. And let me put myself in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, here's Linda. Linda, I've been featuring for a while. Linda started at 249 pounds. She's now living life at 129 pounds. She's in her early 60s. And as you can see, she's no longer on blood pressure medication or statins for cholesterol. And she was on both those drugs for 14 years of her life. She's off the water pills, the seasonal allergies, the migraines are gone. She's rocking. And what I'm going to show you is exactly how Linda ate. All of our clients learn how to eat regular food. So you never, ever have to feel like you're on a diet. You never have to say, I can't have that. You can have everything. It's just a matter of learning how to eat foods in the right combinations and the right proportions. Here's Brett. Brett was pre-diabetic, high blood pressure medication, depression medication, sleep was not good, a lot of anxiety, and all of that is in the past. At 6 feet tall, he's down 137 pounds and off all those meds. And I'm going to show you exactly how he ate to get there. Here's Betsy. Betsy's amazing. I mean, look at her hemoglobin A1C was 14.5. They wanted her on blood pressure medication. They wanted her on metformin. They wanted her on statins for cholesterol. None of that is part of her life today. And if Betsy can do it, you can do it. There's no diabetes. She's good. And I'll show you one more person. Here's Daphne. Daphne's a nurse. She knows a lot about nutrition. She knows a lot about health. But when she was a type 2 diabetic, she's taking blood pressure medication, statins for cholesterol. She has acid reflux. She's a diabetic. She saw me on TV, reached out, and became a client. And look, she dropped the weight. She's off all the meds, and she's living her best and healthiest life. Everyone can do this by learning how to eat. So I'm going to show you. Okay, but before I show you, let me just share with you some basic stats. In 2023, look at this. We had 490 people participate. They all wanted to lose weight, all 490 people. We had 51 type 2 diabetics, 173 people taking medications like metformin, 142 people on blood pressure meds, 33 people taking statins for cholesterol, and we had 23 people with fatty liver. If you look underneath that, you can read it, if you can see it, where 100% of those who participated are successful. That means they improved all of their metabolic markers, and they all lost weight, and they stayed the course. No one dropped out. That's amazing. That's amazing retention. 93% of our type 2 diabetics are no longer type 2 diabetics. So that means 9 out of 10 people who live with type 2 diabetes, we have been able to put them in remission or get to a full 100% reversal. 9 out of 10. 89% are no longer on metformin. 82% are no longer using blood pressure medication. And keep in mind, they tell people that when you're on blood pressure medication, you're going to be on blood pressure medication for the rest of your life. That's not that we've proven that to not be true. 61% of our participants are no longer taking statins. 73% no longer have a fatty liver. And after 5 years, we've been able to demonstrate that 40% of our clients, the people who do what I'm about to show you, are able to keep their progress. That means sustainable results. In comparison to any other program anywhere, when someone loses weight, get off meds, less than 10% of them are able to sustain their outcomes. There is no competition for what we do. There is none. So let me show you how we do it. Okay. Let me show you how we do it. So number one, we have a program that's proprietary. We integrate a lot of behavioral coaching inside of our program. So it makes it easier for it to become habitual for people. It becomes a habit, right? So all of that. So the psychology is woven in with the nutrition and the fitness or activity. It makes it a three-legged stool that is set up for major success. Okay. Now it all starts with this. You begin with a little bit of memorization. We have foods, all the foods in the planet. We have put them into 6 different categories. Okay. So we have 6 categories of food. You have foods that fall into our category of protein. We have foods that are fast carbs and slow carbs. We have foods that are what we call fat portions. We have condiments, mustard, ketchup, A1 sauce. And then we have open, meaning you can eat as much of it as you want when it's part of a fat burning meal. Okay. All right. So we're good there. Now, once you know what the food is and how it's categorized, then it's just a matter of eating it in the right proportions and combinations. Now, if you aren't aware, look under slow carbs where I have it circled for black beans. Black beans, according to the U.S. dietary guidelines, which we're in compliance with, they look at black beans as a protein, but we put it into a category of a slow carb. And the reason for that is that beans have more carbohydrate calories than they do protein calories. So it's more fitting to put it into a slow carb category. If you look at peanut butter, for instance, it's under fat. Peanut butter, most people categorize peanut butter as a protein. Same as the U.S. dietary guidelines, but it has 4 times, actually 5 times more fat calories than it does protein calories. So if it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck, we put it into the duck category. That's it. Now, we have our rhyme, the reason for why we do what we do and how we categorize foods. But once you're a client, we give you full access to all of this. Then it's just a matter of eating. Now, to understand that carbs is not the problem, and to also understand how we can quickly and easily show you how to eat to keep your blood sugar levels under control, let's look at the glycemic index. So the glycemic index was created in 1981. You didn't know we were going to learn about history today, did you? Okay, 1981 for diabetics. Now, here's the part I want you to remember. It's based on a single food. So we're talking about plant-based foods by themselves, right? So you're looking at 50 grams of carbs. Let's say if it was carrots, it would be carrots only, 50 grams. Let's say it was broccoli, 50 grams. That's a lot of broccoli. Let's say it was a potato, 50 grams. So everything is based on 50 grams. And then they have you consume it. And then for the next 2 to 3 hours, they track how fast the food you ate breaks down and becomes sugar in the blood. Okay, so I think we got that now. So if you look at pure sugar, it's given a number 100. So that's the baseline. Then you compare all other foods to pure sugar, right? So if you look at a white potato, it's given a number 95. Now, 95 is considered high. It's close to 100. This is when they start demonizing foods as bad, right? Like the potato is too high in sugar. Don't eat it. But if you take 50 grams of potato chips that is highly processed, packaged with a barcode comes from a potato that you can dig up out of the ground that God made available, well, it's given a number 55. So if a person was thinking about their blood sugar and they reference the glycemic index, it would be healthier for you to eat a potato chip than to eat something that comes natural. Well, the reason for that is that the potato is natural, but the potato chips has been processed to the point that there's oil already woven inside of the chip. And that oil is fat, which slows down how fast the chip becomes sugar in the blood. Now we're about to go somewhere now. Stay with me. So when you look at a meal, as you can see in the bottom there, we know that the butter, the fat, will slow down how fast the potato becomes sugar in the blood. But we also know that the dietary fiber in the broccoli slows down how fast that potato becomes sugar in the blood. And the protein that you're eating with it in the chicken slows down how fast that potato becomes sugar in the blood. So it's the compilation of the food on the plate that makes it a fat burning meal so that your blood sugar levels become under control. Simple, easy, proven. Okay. So let's look at some fat burning meals. So if you're a client, in the very beginning, we really stress that you begin with basic fat burning meals that are protein and slow carbs. So let me give you an example. In this example, you see food, but there's a rhyme the reason here. Okay, I love that. Rhyme the reason. Well, the protein is the chicken. Now, let's say you don't eat chicken. You can swap that out and swap in whatever protein from the list that you prefer. It could be Greek yogurt. It could be steak. It could be meatloaf. It could be fish, shrimp. It could be crab. It could be turkey. Again, you choose the protein that you want. It could be tofu. It could be edamame beans, cottage cheese. The list goes on and on and on. Once you have the protein in mind, then you ask yourself, how are you going to eat your carbs? Well, in this example, we have 3 different slow carbs. It doesn't have to be 3 different slow carbs. It could be all of the same. It could be 2 portions. So for instance, if you swap out the chicken breast and put in smoked turkey, that would be your protein. If I swap out the slow carbs of these 3 different slow carbs, I could replace that with collard greens. And then I could have smoked turkey with collard greens, and that's a fat burning meal. This is how simple this is. And when you practice it and you learn it and you apply it and you learn it and you reap the benefits of it, then you own it and you learn it, and then it's just part of what you do. But so many adults oftentimes are so hurried, so rushed, don't take the time to breathe, to think, have a quiet moment. Not doing that puts you in a position where you can't learn. But learning is how this methodology works. Okay. So are we good there? Are we good there? Any questions when it comes to that meal? Okay. That's the first fat burning meal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like if you take out the slow carbs and replace it with some fast carb, like a fast carb portion, right? So for instance, if I take out that, and let's say we go with a white potato. Well, the white potato is going to be your fast carb. So how would I build this meal? Okay, this is a second example of a fat burning meal. I'm going to end with the Philly cheesesteak. Okay, so trust me, I have not forgotten. So let's make this a little bigger. So you begin with the protein in mind. So again, I'm going to go with chicken, but again, I could choose any protein I want. My fast carb is the baked potato. That could be a yam. That could be couscous, quinoa. Again, whatever fast carb you want. The slow carb is broccoli. That could be asparagus. It could be beans, any kind of bean. It could be whatever slow carb you want. The butter, that's my fat. I could probably choose avocado, maybe sour cream. Again, it's totally up to you what fat you want to add. And then you always have room to add a condiment like a marinade or a hot sauce or barbecue sauce. That's a fat burning meal. And so all those people I showed you, that's what they did. They made fat burning meals. Every client where we reverse type 2 diabetes, they're all making fat burning meals. And I've shown you 2. So let's go to a third one. A burger. Now, this could be a burger that you pick up at Classical Grill. This could be a burger that you buy at Whole Foods. It could be a burger that you make at home. It could be a burger that you buy over at Burger King. The principles are still at play. So remember when we had the chicken as our protein? Well, instead of chicken, we're going to have the hamburger patty. Instead of the white potato for our fast carb, we're going to have the top and bottom bun. Instead of having broccoli for our slow carb, we're going to have tomatoes, pickles, onions, some lettuce as our slow carb. And our condiments going to be mustard, ketchup, and our fat will be the cheese. That is a fat burning meal. Everyone can learn how to do this. And immediately you're getting results. When it's a fat burning meal, you're optimizing fat burning. So that's why we teach how to make fat burning meals. So this is number 3. Let's do another one. Let's make a smoothie, right? Because not all fat burning meals are on the plate. Some fat burning meals are in a cup. Some are in a bowl. But here's an example where you see the principles in action. So when it's time to make a fat burning meal, I am going to get my protein powder. So we got protein powder instead of chicken. Then I'm going to add a fast carb in the form of a banana instead of a white potato. And then I'm going to add a slow carb in the form of strawberries. It could be any berry because they're all slow carbs. And then I'm going to add a fat, which is optional. You don't have to. But I'm going to add a fat to this smoothie in the form of peanut butter or almond butter. I like both. And then my condiment is the unsweetened almond milk. So as you can see, you're putting together fat burning meals with foods that you would eat. Your eat is regular food. It's how you combine it. So when someone says, "Oh, what are you doing? Man, how did you lose weight? How does it work?" Then you could simply say it's all about learning how to combine foods in the right proportions. That's it. And if they say, "Well, what does that mean? Can you explain?" Then you can give them examples. Right? So we're not saying you can't eat pizza. It depends on how much pizza and what the pizza is made up of. We're not saying you can't have a hamburger. We're just, if you're going to eat the bread, which is a fast carb, you don't want to eat that with the fries, which is a fast carb. At least not until you learn the methodology better, and then you can implement what we call a boost meal. That's a whole nother conversation. But these are things you learn when you become a client. Okay? So let's keep it moving. All right, here's another fat burning meal. And this is one that you would see at a Chinese restaurant. Beef broccoli. So the protein would be the beef. The fast carb is the white rice. And sometimes people say, well, you can have white rice? I go, yeah. Whatever rice you prefer. Like I personally prefer white rice. Some people prefer brown rice. Some will go out of their way for wild rice. Again, make it work for however it will work best for you. My slow carb is the carrots and the broccoli, and the condiment is the teriyaki sauce. That's a fat burning meal. Let's do another one. Okay, this is the second to last one. The protein, if I were to ask you, you would say, "Oh, the protein is the meatloaf." I would say, "Yes, good job." The fast carb is the mashed potatoes. The condiment is the gravy, because most condiments are a little higher in carbs. When they're higher in fat, then it could be the fat. But in this example, it's a condiment. And then I added a portion of slow carbs in the form of broccoli. That's a fat burning meal. So everybody can eat what they want to eat as long as they know how to combine their foods properly. And that's what comes with learning the methodology. Drum roll. Let's get to it. Here's the Philly cheesesteak. So I wanted to open up so you can see what everything means. The protein is the steak. The fast carb is the bread. The slow carb is those caramelized onions and bell peppers that usually come on your Philly cheesesteak. The fat is the cheese. The condiment would be whatever you want to add to it. Some people like to add a little mustard, a little ketchup. That's totally up to the individual. But that is a fat burning meal. And every statistic that I have shared with you, as far as people losing weight, feeling great, eating regular food. Like, why would someone do a program where the food is boxed when you could eat regular food in a way that will get you these kind of results. If once you know this, you can't unsee it. Now, some people will go in denial, but the reality is you can learn how to eat regular everyday food in a healthier way that will bring about results. So then you never feel like you were on a diet. You never feel like you're on a diet. Now, here's the fun part is oftentimes people say, okay, you guys are big into nutrition education. I say, absolutely. And they say, well, can you explain that more? And I said, well, have you ever heard of Bloom's taxonomy? Bloom's taxonomy has been around for years. Many educators are fully aware of it. A lot of teachers, professors. I like it, and it made sense when it was first introduced to me because it helps the teacher teach more effectively, and it can also help the student learn more effectively. And the reason being, it goes from the bottom up. The highest level is when you're at a creative place. We're not going to talk about that in this session. We're only going to talk about the first 3 levels. So level number 1 is remember. So if I gave you a cheat sheet that had all of the protein foods, all of the fast carb foods, all of the slow carb foods, well, once you eat a banana, you know it's a fast carb. Now you just got to remember. Once you eat chicken and you go, that's my protein source, all you got to do is remember. So remembering is the foundation, and we can help with that by giving you tools to make it easy for you to remember. Then understand is a understanding of how to combine the foods that you remember. Protein, fast carb, slow carb. Once you know what they are, you understand how to combine, then you just apply. Once you're applying this, which happens quickly, once you apply, and I want you to really get this. And if you apply it properly, then you will own this. You will own it. What do I mean by that? We have our clients eat 3 meals a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And remember, we've had thousands of people lose hundreds of pounds. We are helping people reverse diabetes. All of that, we are killing it. We're evidence-based, clinically proved. We have proven it. We're proven. This methodology works. So when someone is doing keto or someone's doing carnivore, they just don't know this exists. So they will jump on a diet. But once they discover what we do, it's like, imagine someone giving you an iPhone in 2010, and it's the first time you saw one, or even an Android, and you go, whoa, and then they take it from you and give you a flip phone. You can't forget what you've seen. You saw it with your own eyes. You felt it. And that's what happens with the diet-free life methodology, what we teach people. I'll have clients work with me for a while, go try some stupid diet. Then years later, they'll come back and go, I had to come back. The only thing that's really worked for me, Robert, was this. And then boom, then you have it. You follow me? So the part that I wanted to end on as it pertains to Bloom's taxonomy is that if you eat 3 meals a day, in 7 days, that means 21 meals were eaten. That means 21 times you got the practice making a fat burning meal. If you looked at 30 days, just the first month, 3 meals a day, that means you got the practice 90 times making a fat burning meal with different foods. If you practice anything 90 times, you're going to become pretty proficient. If your head is on straight and you're really thinking about it, then you're going to own it. Once you own it, then you got it. Now, the people who still will battle and they know how to make a fat burning meal, they just got off course. They had no accountability in place. They don't have a coach. And that's the reason why they are stuck where they are and stubborn. That's what's blocking them. That's what's blocking them. I'm telling you right now. My heart goes out to people who are stuck. But my heart doesn't really go, well, actually it does. It goes out a different way for those people who get in their own way, right? I could give someone free coaching and they will still get in their own way. It ain't even about the money. I've watched it for the last few years. I've done some trials where I made it where I had clients paying me $400 a month, and I still do. And I have some that pay more than that. And then I have some clients that pay $50 a month in this special program that I have. The less money they pay or the more money they pay, there's no difference in behaviors. They either get in their way or they run with it and they're successful. They could get it for free and they will still get in their own way, and they will still, certain people will not be successful. I don't know why that is, but they rather be sick. And I've watched many people die. I've watched people get disease, get ill because they just kept putting off doing something for their health. I mean, it's really sad, but there's no reason for that. And that's why I'm taking the time to walk you through and giving you a thorough explanation of what it looks like as far as how people eat when they work with us to get these amazing results. And Bloom's taxonomy, it says it, the first 3 levels: remember, understand, apply. Apply 3 times a day, 90 times in a month. At that point, you own it. The only thing at that point is missing is that you just need more accountability. Sometimes I have to put on my drill instructor hat. Sometimes. I mean, it is what it is. Okay. Now we go back to, and I'm just going to end here. And then if you guys have any questions, I will answer any questions. But I just want you to look at the stats. Let's look at these stats. 9 out of 10 people who are a type 2 diabetic, if they work with us, they will no longer be a diabetic. So do you know anyone who's just comfortable, just settled in, they're just okay with being a type 2 diabetic? Because you know where that's headed if they don't deal with it. I mean, how many people do you know that are just stuck with and just settled in to being on high blood pressure medication? Just stuck. I mean, Sandy, who's catching us here live, Sandy was on blood pressure medication for 37 years. And when she saw that she could get off of blood pressure medication, I saw her put forth the effort, and I started coaching her. And now she's no longer taking blood pressure medication. I mean, that's amazing. Everyone would want that, you would think. But some people just, I mean, I have seen some people that just, it still blows my mind that they just got in their own way and continue to stay in their own way. And these are the same kind of people that will give their kids a hard time, but yet they're not the ones following suit. It's kind of like when I do a seminar, you know, let's say you have 5 rows of chairs and everybody shows up, you know, adults. And I notice maybe one person in the front row of 10 chairs is sitting there and all the other chairs are filled. They go toward the back. Now, every parent who's sitting in that chair totally identifies with what I'm about to say. And I think you probably already know what I'm going to say. And that is, why aren't you guys sitting in the front row? Because that's what you would encourage your kids to do. But for whatever reason, you're not doing it. Get in the front row. Let's be the smart ones. Let's listen to our inner voice. And by doing that, we get the results that we want. It's that simple. So I'm going to stop there. Any questions for me? I went out there. I went to the back room, make sure nobody was back there. Oh man, this is great. This is really good. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. There's just Robert. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Okay, Ethel, she says true. So I'm glad you made it, Ethel. And Jenny, I'm glad you made it. But it is true. It is so true. Isn't it sad, Ethel, when you think about it? Think about all the friends that you know that their health is declining. They're not really sure what to do. They do want to get better, but yet they're not doing anything to get better. So then you tell them about what you're doing, Ethel, and they still, most of them, not all, will do nothing. So that's the part that I need people to help me better help people, is how do we help those people? Maybe they've lost hope. I remember Richard Simmons talking a lot about hope. And one of the things that I'll never forget, like when I think of Richard Simmons, I think of hope. I think of hope because when I met him, in my time around him, that's what he talked about most, was restoring hope, giving people hope, keeping hope alive. Because people get to a place where they give up, and not just in nutrition. Sometimes people give up in a way where they settle. They settle for mediocrity. They settle for, I'm a diabetic, and they take on the title and they own it. They settle. They just settle. They just settle. I don't know why. There's a lot. I mean, I could give you an answer, but what I've also learned is that every situation is unique. Every person is unique. Everyone is unique. Everyone's story is unique. So I don't judge anybody. I don't want to judge anybody. I want to be a vessel and be available to help people get to where they most want to be as it pertains to the skill sets that I bring to the table. And the younger you can get someone, the better. Like, I'll end on this. I had a client who I work with who had a fiance. I believe they got married, and she really wanted to lose weight. And eventually she wanted to have a family. So she didn't get the weight off, but she did get pregnant. So once she got pregnant, of course, you're going to gain some weight. And after the pregnancy, because she didn't do what I would have recommended, that means have a coach throughout pregnancy with your nutrition. Stay mindful the whole time. Don't just take your eye off the ball and think it's all going to work out. But that's what she did. She didn't listen. So you gain some weight, and then after the baby, what happens? Postpartum depression. When your nutrition's out of whack and your gut's out of whack, your immune system is compromised. Your ability to have high-level cognitive function is compromised. You're compromised. You're compromised. And now where is she? She'll probably never, ever lose the weight because it'll go from one excuse to the next excuse. And as I showed you, meatloaf, Philly cheesesteak, regular everyday food, staying the course. Why wouldn't everybody do that? Because not everybody cares until they're at a place where it's scary. That's when I see people take action. I've seen that a lot when it comes to believing in God. I've watched, I would say maybe 7, 8 people in my whole life get to the point where they're facing death and they've been an atheist forever. And then when it's coming close to it being over, then they want God. I'm telling you, I've seen it over and over. I mean, I've lived long enough to see it. And when you have some type of notoriety or fame or followings of, I've been out there, I've been in front of millions of people. A lot of people. So when you know a lot of people, you get to experience a lot of things. And this is one of many things that I've witnessed firsthand, is people wanting to change everything when they're sick and they're on that bed and it ain't looking good. Being proactive or having foresight is what I pray that you guys all get. And I pray that you give it to your kids and you influence others to have the same type of foresight and be proactive in many areas of their life, right? Because this would apply to finances. It would apply to everything. You don't want to be that person, because I work with a lot of them that just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And then that kidney goes from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3. Diabetes doesn't get better, it gets worse. Then they're trying different meds. Blood pressure doesn't get better, it gets worse. And that's exactly where they want you to be. And I hate saying it like that, but it's the truth. Okay. All right. Well, I'm done. I believe I did a good job. I presented that. I wanted you guys to get a chance to experience that. That's a video that I'm sending out to all of my clients tonight and tomorrow. And then when I have my coaching, I'm going to quiz you guys, if you're my client, on how to make a fat burning meal with anything. Anything. We only covered the first 3 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. And then I'll bring clarity to what I mean by the other levels. Okay? All right, you guys. Well, good call. I'll be back mañana. We'll talk about, there's a study that I want to share with you tomorrow. It's a study that no one on the internet is talking about. It's a study that came out in 2021. I'll share with you how I learned about it. And again, no one is talking about this study. And this study is a study that everyone would benefit from being aware of, because this study brings clarity to how to improve anything that deals with inflammation, oxidative stress, anything that deals with inflammation on all levels, which, as you know, inflammation is the beginning of many chronic illnesses. So when you see the study and I walk you through it and you see all the benefits of it, you're going to be like, wow. So my goal is tomorrow. Worst case, I'll do it on Thursday. Today is Tuesday as I do this live. But just check, if you're catching the replay of this, you'll see that this study that changes how we look at health. I like that. That's what I'm going to call it. The study that changes how we look at better health, actually. Better health. So don't miss that one. I'm going to show you, and my goal with this study is to show you how to read a study to get a better understanding of when we say what a study, or we refer to a study, like what does that really look like? So I'm going to show you what the study looks like. I'm going to show you what the abstracts look like. And then we're going to go into the study, and I'm going to highlight the things that were discovered or unveiled in the study as far as the benefits. And then I'm going to connect the dots. And as they say in Ethiopia, when you connect the dots, it's like connecting the dots like a spider web. When they come together, you can tie up an elephant. Spiders. That's how powerful that web can be when you connect the dots. So I'm going to show you how to connect the dots with this one study that no one has talked about. I've looked everywhere to see if it's on, and no one has talked about it. All the people, like, no one's talked about it. And I'll share with you how and why I'm talking about it, because that's kind of how it came about. I was hoping I was looking for hundreds of studies, but I found this one, and it's a solid study, and it's going to be a game changer for many of you. So I can't wait to share that with you. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ethel. I appreciate you. You guys have a good evening. Feel free to watch the replay of this if you want. And then go to our YouTube channel if you have not, and subscribe. And when you click on subscribe, make sure you click on all, so that whenever we upload a video or we go live, you get an email or some type of notification. And then at that point, you can either catch us live or you can catch the replay. All right. So till the next one, I'm Robert Ferguson, your nutritionist, a guy who shares because he cares. And to the next one. Peace out.